The following article I'm going to read was published in the Hindustan Times based in Delhi, India. It was under the headline, "Believing in God is Not Enough." The article reads as follows. Albert Einstein once said, quote, "I want to know how God created the universe. Everything else is detail," end quote. Visiting temples, accepting God as supreme, reciting prayers, singing hymns, proclaiming a religion, and honoring and depending on the Lord for everything are key elements of theism. Such activities and mentalities are often part of a theocracy where religious law conflicts with secular law, with unfortunate results for both sides. Yet worship of God continues, even when it is against legal statutes. It is a minority belief system or just extremely unpopular. At times it can be fashionable or cool to believe in God, regardless of the support by government and educational systems. Many people attend temples, mosques, churches, and synagogues with little or no thought as to what they are doing. Children often rebel against parental ideas of an all-knowing, all-present, all-powerful being of infinite beauty, but more so if the parents are non-committal and vague. Some youngsters recoil at the idea of God being supreme. Acceptance, however, is only part of the picture. According to Bhagavad Gita, those engaged in worship of the Lord with all their hearts know God perfectly. To know God perfectly is far more than simple acceptance. It is to know that God creates the material world out of love for his devotees, thus giving them facility to fulfill their desires. It is this quality which makes God lovable and generates full-hearted worship. The most adorable aspect of God is that he becomes the servant of his devotee. It is not simply knowing him as the source of creation, but more importantly as the lover of his devotee, or Bhakta Vatsala, as it is said in Sanskrit, Bhakta Vatsala. This feature of God is more attractive than his being the source of all worlds and everything in them. This feature, that the most famous and powerful being in the universe is willing to act as a menial servant of his devotee, is what endears him to us. Thus, quote, "Giving is better than receiving," end quote, reaches its perfection in relation to God and his devotee. Dynamic transcendental reciprocation brings peace, purpose, and happiness. Until we enter into the details of God's personhood, activities, and preferences, spirituality is of little value. It is not the whole picture. If there is to be lateral thinking regarding the crisis of our age, let it begin with the following problem-solving method: getting to know God.